Hello, everybody, and welcome to Samawa Island or Samawa Idle. It is an idle clicking game, and I'm starting off by showing you what happens when you upgrade a tier of your tower. You are presented with two options. These tower choices could be very different depending on kind of what happens. I personally like the energy tower, but the energy tower doesn't seem like it does that crazy amount of damage. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick with it. And as you can see, it did do a nice kind of upgrade for that. But anyway, but the whole idea of Samawa, whatever island or idol is you are given and initially you have nothing. You can click on things and that's it. But then after that, you have some towers that you can build. I built these three towers because that's as many as you can build. And then you just, you can come through here, you can click things if you want, but you don't need to. You just kind of click and hold. You can unlock some different things, like these chests will pop up. They usually give you a little bit more gold, so that's pretty nice. But you just go through here and you're just going to kind of keep doing this process and trying to, get your towers to do as much damage as possible. Go and fight bosses, which are just bigger versions of the enemies you're killing. They usually have a bit more health than the enemies that are standard, and you only have a certain amount of time to try to kill them all. If you can't kill them all, you're going to be thrust back into the previous level, at which point you're just going to farm. And this is like a good time to basically go and do something else with your life and come back. So in addition to, leveling up your towers, you also have some passive abilities you can earn because your towers gather experience. They don't gather a lot of experience. It's not like an overtime thing. It's per enemy killed. There are some stats you can use to kind of increase that, but overall, like, it just, you don't get a whole lot. But then you can basically add some different stuff. So for an example, I put it into like fierce and some speed and some trigger. So these are all, things that are going to pop up, and you can just use whatever you want, and I try to do it. Anything that's going to do more damage, it seems to work for the best. You also have something called a rebirth system, and what the rebirth system is it sends you back to the beginning of the game, but you are able to, create skill points to go up. One thing I found is you don't really develop, like, skill points at a quick pace at all. Like, I'm kind of surprised that it is so slow. But we're going to do it because this is a video to just kind of show you the game. I should point out that this is a game that I received free through Keymailer. The developers offered the key to me to see if I was interested in playing it. I said, sure, I accepted it, and now I'm making a video for it. The game does come out on the 13th of November, so I'm playing it a little bit earlier than release, but that's cool because you get to see it. I have been playing the game for about 7 hours, and it's 7 hours that I've had it up and running over the last couple of days that I just kind of jumped in. I play it for a lot longer than you would expect, but when I'm doing things that seem menial, or I just, other things that I don't really want to do, I just load this up in the background and I play it off and on, come through and click and do the upgrading stuff, and it's surprisingly addictive. Alright, so this is what we do for the passive. We can increase the attack speed, some different stuff. The only thing that I don't like is it doesn't really give you any kind of information as far as what is your current, capability. How much is it going to improve by using it? I do wish they would do that. They don't, but it's not a huge deal. I feel like it would make a pretty monumental change in what you choose, or what I choose, typically. And so after you finish a boss, you get thrust into another level where enemies have more health. And it's really just you're repeating the process. This is what you're doing. This is the entire game. As you can see, like, I've gained apparently 32% of all the gold that can be achieved. I don't know. I don't know what these mean at all, but you can look and see your stats as far as like what's going on for your towers, how powerful they are, and stuff like that. Now, there are a lot of achievements that you can unlock in the game, which all go towards making, you know, the next time you play a little bit easier or better. If I hit level 100, then I'm going to get extra 20% damage, and then 25, then 40, then 60 damage. So that's pretty dang cool. There's all these different stats that basically are going to go up and encourage you to continue playing and using the whole system to, you know, do stuff here. The rebirth system. So what is the rebirth system? The rebirth system, it returns you to your game to progress to square one, which basically it means you'll start back at level 1 with nothing and you have to kind of work your way back up. And you might say, that sounds stupid. Why would I ever do that? And I still think that's actually a valid question. Why would you do that? I've used the rebirth system a couple of times, and leveled up a few of my skills, and honestly, the skills that I'm upgrading aren't really things that seem too exciting. But there are some things you can do that I think will make it a lot better. So the rebirth will grant you a bunch of these stones, which you can then use to turn into skill points. Or, if you want to, you can use your rebirth stones to increase certain items. I haven't been increasing items, but I'm going to go ahead and just do that here. And now it does an extra 30% damage. So, the rebirth granting a certain amount, that seems to vary based on where you are and like everything. It could be very beneficial to make your tower stronger, or to perhaps increase the amount of gold that I gain, which would be definitely very useful. But it's really one of those things that I think it's going to be up to you on whether or not you actually want to make a lot of use of the rebirth system. Because without the actual stones, if you're not going to get enough stones for it, it's not really that worth it. It just, you're not going to like get enough to have it go really well until probably you've played this for several days. And by play, I mean have started it. Because once you get things started, the game is going to remember that you played it, and however much time passes before you load it up again, you're suddenly going to have, you know, more cash to buy more things, which I think is really cool. Like, I'm very happy with that aspect. I can play this for a little bit now for the purpose of this video. I can turn it off and come back to it tomorrow or 3 days from now, and my towers will have spent that time destroying an innumerable amount of enemies, earning a lot of gold, and I mean, I'm just good. Like, I'm gonna come back and have plenty of stuff. I can make some more upgrades. Like, eventually I'll hit 300 for the floor and be like, well, I did it. And I'll probably, you know, rather idly complete all the achievements in the game. And I think it's cool. Like, I'm honestly really surprised. This isn't the kind of game that I normally thought I would like, but you know what? It's good. Like, it does exactly what you expect it to do. As a clicker game or an idle game. It's more of an idle game than a clicking game, I think, but it really does everything that you would expect it to do. The tower upgrades are nice. I do wish you could have more than 3 towers. Maybe you can later on. Didn't see anything here that lets me have additional towers. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can have more towers, but you can do a lot of cool upgrades for everything, which is, you know, which is pretty cool. You know, you have the level up system, you have this rebirth system for skills, so it's surprisingly in depth and deep. There's quite a bit to it, but ultimately that's the game. This is what you have to experience. you're either gonna like it or you're not. Like, I mean, I don't know how to sell this sort of game to you other than saying that, I mean, I've spent 7 hours jumping in and out for probably 30 minutes at a time of just coming through and clicking stuff and upgrading my towers because it's just been absolutely addictive. So if you're looking for a game that just can occupy a lot of your time without really requiring any degree of effort on your part from a mental capacity, this is a game that is going to be worth your time. I think you'll like it, especially if you're already a fan of games like this. And, you know, knowing this guy's going to give me 17 of those, which are going to actually be useful towards the rebirth. I don't believe they're going to be that useful prior to that. But the game will tell you that they suggest you use rebirth right around level 55 the first time. Ignore that. That is a terrible collection of advice. Make it to, like, you know, at least to, like, probably level 70, maybe even 80. And do it from there, or better yet, just keep going and don't use rebirth until, you know, you've gotten even further. Perhaps I'm not really sure. I don't have like the answer on what would be the right time to do it. But either way, like I said, the game is surprisingly addictive. And this is it. This is like what to expect. The only thing that's going to be different for you, perhaps, is like some different towers and stuff. When you start, you have no towers. You just click and you make some upgrades. Then you have the towers. Your damage for clicking goes up based on the damage of your towers. Like as an example, click damage right now is 257E, whatever that means. Now it's 272 because it goes up from a portion of whatever my tower damage is. And it's just really cool. Like, I mean, I am very, very surprised at how addictive this game is. So that's Samawa Idle. I like it. And if you're looking for an idle game that's gonna, you know, take up a bunch of your time or just be fun to, you know, turn on, do a bit, and then come back to it in a week's time or something, yeah, this is probably a great pick for you. The link is in the description. Again, thanks to Keymailer and the developers for a free key for this, or an early key, because I have no idea what the game is going to cost when it comes out. By the time it does on the 13th, I have no idea, but hopefully it's a price point that appeals to you. That's really it. Thanks for watching, and you know, hey, have a wonderful whatever day it is. I hope it's great.